Good morning, writers. Hope you had a good day yesterday. And I hope you got a lot of ideas for your heart map. I showed you my heart map that I made, kind of finished it up a little bit. I added some places, I added some things I like to do, I added some more food, and I couldn't forget my pets. Couldn't believe that I didn't think about that yesterday, or the rest of my family. They would have been a little bit upset with me had I not included them on my heart map, and the beach and a couple of other things. So take a minute at your heart to look at your heart map and just check to make sure that you have a lot of things that represent you, things that are really important and special and close to your heart. So take a minute to check out your heart map that you made yesterday. See if you can add maybe one or two more things to your map. Just added one more, see if I can think of another thing. Excellent. I hope you added a couple more things. I added cooking and shopping to mine. So once writers get and start like listing these things that are important to their heart, in their life, all these pieces, then we can start like thinking about how we might tell one of the stories. So today, writers, we're going to work on generating ideas for stories by thinking about important people in important places in our lives, and then listing those like small moments, those little stories that go with each of those people and those places. So remember yesterday I told you generate is a fancy word for come up with. So today we're going to think about ideas for stories, but we're going to list the people or places from our heart map, and then we're going to really start thinking about the stories that go with each of those places. So I'm going to start in my writer's notebook. I'm going to start on the next page, and I'm going to put, I'm going to just start with Julia, since she was a big part of my heart map. So all I'm going to do at the top of my writer's notebook is put her name there, and then I'm going to try to think about important stories connected to Julia, because I don't want to write I don't want to write about like everything about her, but I want to think about like really important stories that are meaningful and thoughtful and that really tell something that I want to show other people. So let me think. I think one of the stories that I could write is the first time she walked. So the first time that she walked without holding on to something, like I remember I was sitting on the couch and Michael, my husband, was sitting in a chair, like kind of with the space that was in between the couch and the chair. And she at first was like holding on to the table and like moving, holding onto the table. And then she got to the end of the table, and then all of a sudden she like let go. And as she let go, she didn't fall. She made it all the way to Michael, and it was like really exciting. And of course we didn't catch it on video because you never know when those moments are going to happen. So that's a story I could write about Julia. Let me think. Another story. Oh, this one was really scary. We were on the beach, and I was reading my book, and she was sort of playing right in front of me. I'm just going to write the beach in here. She was playing in front of me with her buckets and stuff, and I was reading, and I looked up from my book, and she wasn't there. And I completely freaked out. I jumped out of my seat. I went to the lifeguard. We had all these people around us that were trying to help us find her. I had a picture of her. And long story short, she couldn't find us because there was a lot of people and lots of different umbrellas and things. So she started walking off in the distance. And once somebody who saw her picture said, "Is that her over there?" And I remember just screaming, "Julia!" And she came running, and I was running like a cheetah, like fast across the beach, and then we hugged each other. So I just want to show you for a minute. So this is me thinking about Julia, who she came from my heart map, and then just thinking about little stories that I could write that are connected to her. So I want you to do that right now. I want you to think of an important person in your life. It could be your parents, it could be your best friend, it could be a brother or sister or a grandparent. And then just put their name at the top, and then think about some stories that you could write that you have with that person. So go ahead and do that right now. Thank you. Excellent. So I hope you have a couple of ideas that you could share with others and share with us tomorrow, share with me, and share with your friends in the class, because I think that a lot of ideas that we get, sometimes they're sparked from other people's ideas as well. I went ahead while you guys were working on that, and I listed an important place in my life, which is Prospect Park. And I know yesterday I told you that I got married there, but remember, that's like a big story, right? Getting married is that's a huge story. So maybe instead of getting married, the whole wedding, I could write about when I was walking out of down the stairs to where we were getting married. I just kind of remember looking out into the park, and it was so great because like everybody was around. There were kids playing soccer, there were families having picnics. So I'm just gonna say walking down the aisle. So remember, I don't want to have the whole wedding. I just want to focus and zoom in on 1 minute or one moment. And then I also have a really nice memory of being in Prospect Park and hiking in the woods with my dog. So I went ahead and did that, and this is something that you could do today as you're working. So I want to just go over some of the things that we've done, some strategies that we've used so far for coming up with personal narrative. So one thing we've done is that we've created our heart map. So we've listed important parts of our life in sort of like a heart in our map. And today, we listed important people and places, and we thought about stories that are connected to those people or those places. Not the whole story, because remember, we don't want to write all about Prospect Park. We want to write about important moments that we had while we were in the park, or experiences that we had while we were in the park. So this is another important strategy for generating personal narratives. So when you go off to work today, I want you to come up with a couple of lists, some important people, some important places, and be ready to share those with me and the class. to help others, like maybe come up with some ideas. Maybe some people might be struggling with a couple of different ideas. So when we share our ideas with each other, we might then spark an idea from somebody else. So have a good time writing today. Spend a little time, you got to do a little thinking, a little writing, and that's okay. Sometimes the ideas just flow out, and sometimes you need like a little space to come up with those ideas. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye-bye.